For nearly 100 years, the FIFA World Cup felt like home. 32 squads, 7 matches to glory, same heavyweights, same format, same old rhythm, such a gorgeous long ball. Van Persie makes an early run. He is onside this time. It is tied 1-1, but in 2026, international soccer is trying something wild, something totally new. This is going to be the largest tournament in history. Everyone keeps saying 2026 is the most massive World Cup ever. Co-hosted, of course, by Mexico, Canada, and the United States. Sure, the global politics guarantee big money, but will we actually get a spectacular tournament? Ignore all the political noise. Forget the arguments about which city deserves what, or who said it cannot happen in a specific town. Cut through all that endless drama. The real question is, will this setup actually give us the best soccer? 48 squads, 104 matches, 3 host nations, 16 cities, 39 straight days of pure chaos across the United States, Canada, and Mexico. Honestly, it might be the most dangerous global tournament the sport has ever seen. This bracket is no longer built for comfort. The heavyweights are arriving with absolutely terrifying rosters. France boasts the deepest squad on earth. Spain has a teenage phenom already shredding elite backlines. Portugal still leans on Cristiano Ronaldo, desperately chasing the one trophy, escaping his legendary career. Argentina could drag Lionel Messi to one final dance. Meanwhile, Brazil carries the crushing weight of an entire generation desperate for a title. But the real nightmare is not the favorites, it is the squads waiting underneath them. Japan already knows how to slay giants on this stage. Norway finally gets Erling Haaland at a major tournament. And Morocco? They are not afraid of anybody anymore. Plus, this new format hands underdogs completely new ways to survive, just long enough to shatter someone else's dream. Meanwhile, the game itself is evolving fast. Think semi-automated offsides challenging the referees, backed by next-level ball tracking technology, upgraded video review, stricter time rules, extreme heat in Dallas, Houston, and Miami, plus suffocating altitude down in Mexico City. Officials literally have to issue excessive heat warnings. Playing in those blistering temperatures, it gets genuinely dangerous just standing outside for long, let alone sprinting. Toss in massive cross-country flights between matches. And for the first time in history, a champion must survive 8 grueling matches just to lift that gold trophy. This is exactly why 2026 could become the greatest and most brutal competition soccer has ever seen. Look, here is the truth. This tournament isn't just bigger, it is genuinely more dangerous and definitely not in the fun, glossy way the marketing team wants you to believe. For nearly 30 years, the event had a clear rhythm. 32 squads, 8 groups, 2 advance, then sudden death straight to the final. The winner played exactly 7 games. That was the unwritten contract. Coaches planned around it. Heavyweights paced their energy. Underdogs built their wildest dreams around that exact structure. Clean, predictable, brutal in all the best ways. Well, that era is dead. 2026 shoves 48 teams into 12 groups of 4. The top 2 advance automatically. Simple enough. But 8 of the best third-place finishers also survive, sparking a chaotic new round of 32. The champion tackles 8 matches. 104 games total, running from June 11th to July 19th. Finishing third used to mean packing for the airport. Now, it is a massive lifeline. That single rule change totally rewires the psychology of every group match. A squad down 2-0 late might just park the bus. Why? Because losing by 2 instead of 3 could literally save their tournament. Coaches will face frantic, real-time choices that simply never existed before. Do you push hard for the tie? Or stay compact and just pray a squad in another group is bleeding worse than you? Goal difference is not just a stat anymore, it is a weapon. We already know how incredibly brutal this gets. Senegal crashed out of the 2018 tournament just because Japan took fewer yellow cards. Identical points, same goal difference, same exact goals scored. Now, imagine that math infecting 12 groups at once. 8 third-place squads desperately comparing stats across totally different cities and completely different time zones. A late yellow card in Kansas City suddenly dictates the fate of a squad sitting third up in Vancouver. A chaotic stoppage time goal in Miami completely rewrites a nation's destiny. The heavyweights simply cannot coast anymore. Look at Argentina. They dropped their 2022 opener to Saudi Arabia and still won gold. But that single shock destroyed them mentally for weeks. Germany arrived in 2018 holding the crown, lost 2-0 against South Korea, and vanished, standard format, and they still collapsed. In this bloated version, that blind panic has room to breathe. Imagine Group 1 France, Senegal, Norway, Iraq. France should easily dominate. 2018 champions, 2022 finalists. Unmatched depth. But Senegal stunned them 1-0 in 2002. And they remember. Norway rolls up with Haaland at his first global dance, fed by Odegaard, eager to punish mistakes. Iraq is the clear outsider. But one stubborn low block, a lucky set piece, an emotional tie, suddenly the whole group is absolutely on fire. Under these rules, the smaller nations do not have to be perfect. Scraping together 3 or 4 points might be enough. Drop deep. Avoid dumb yellow cards, treat every single goal allowed like it costs actual money. The new rules literally reward that slow defensive grind. Then look at where they play. 3 massive countries, 16 totally spread out cities. Out west, Vancouver, Seattle, San Francisco, and Los Angeles. In the central zone, Guadalajara, Mexico City, Monterrey. Plus Houston, Dallas, and Kansas City. Out east, Atlanta, Miami, Toronto, Boston, Philadelphia, New York, New Jersey. For fans, it is a total dream. For players, a logistical nightmare wrapped in shiny tournament branding. Mexico City kicks off at the Azteca, iconic stadium, hallowed ground, the exact spot where Diego Maradona became a god, all sitting at 2,000 meters above sea level, thin air, heavy lungs. Pressing drops off and late-game focus vanishes for teams who aren't ready. Head north, and you face a totally different nightmare. Afternoon temperatures in Dallas, Houston, and Miami could push past 90 degrees Fahrenheit. 14 of the 16 host cities carry extreme heat risks. FIFA did set up safety measures, hydration breaks, heat checks, 3 rest days between games, air-conditioned benches. It all sounds smart, but managing a crisis isn't the same as fixing it. Cool air in Vancouver one week. Next game, Miami humidity. Then Mexico City altitude suffocates your press at minute 70. Recovery becomes tactical. Squad rotation is tactical. Even sub-timing shifts entirely. A guy pressing for 90 minutes in a European spring just won't have that same motor in July heat after flying across a continent. This summer tournament isn't just about fighting opponents. Players are battling the schedule, the format, the altitude, the sweltering heat, the travel, and each other. Then there's the actual football, which might be the scariest part. Let's look at who's showing up. France first, because this squad is just built completely different. 2018 champions. 2022 finalists. They basically squeezed 2 world-class rosters into a single team. Dembélé took the 2025 Ballon d'Or after a 37-goal, 15-assist season at PSG. Michael Olise is Europe's most lethal left-footed creator right now. Tchouaméni locks down the midfield control. Zaire Emery brings pure aggression and endless running. Cherki adds pure chaos between the lines. But France's real terror isn't just one single superstar. It's that they can crush you 5 different ways without hitting top gear. Spain, though, might be the most fascinating squad in this tournament. Forget the old tiki-taka trauma. This Spain is fast, young, vertical, and wildly fun. Reigning European champs, Rodri, the 2024 Ballon d'Or winner, anchors the entire system. Pedri brings control, Gavi adds fire, Zubimendi holds the shape, while Lamine Yamal terrorizes right-side fullbacks. The only real fear is Yamal's hamstring. He's been nursing it closely heading into the competition. De La Fuente stays optimistic. He has to be without Yamal. Spain loses an entire attacking dimension. Argentina arrives as defending champions, changing exactly how you analyze them. They already proved they can survive absolute chaos. They choked their 2022 opener to Saudi Arabia, then still lifted the trophy. This squad doesn't rely on being perfect. Julian Alvarez presses relentlessly. Enzo Fernandez splinters defensive lines. And Emiliano Martinez, he's basically a walking psychological weapon during penalty shootouts. Then there's Messi. If he plays, this event transcends the sport entirely. Scaloni left the final decision completely in his hands. So Argentina balances two huge stories defending their global crown and giving the greatest player alive one last shot at glory. Ronaldo is 41. The World Cup remains the single massive trophy missing from his legendary story. Everything else, the Euros, shattered records, golden boots across 5 separate tournaments he owns. Just not this. That unfinished business charges Portugal with an emotion you can't measure on a tactics board. Crucially though, they aren't just Ronaldo's backup band anymore. Vitinha and João Neves dictate the midfield pace. Bruno Fernandes takes the bold risks and serves lethal final passes. Bernardo Silva stays icy in tight spaces. João Felix brings wild unpredictability. And Nuno Mendes remains an explosively dangerous left-sided weapon. You could argue this is Portugal's most complete golden generation ever. Ronaldo is just fronting it while the clock slowly ticks down. England arrives choking on a totally different pressure. Years of watching raw talent fail to win trophies. But Tuchel shifts the tone. He doesn't care about football romance. He makes England rigid, ruthless, and brutal to beat in knockouts. Kane finishes. Bellingham rules the massive moments. Rice drives deep. Palmer stays icy under fire. Saka dominates the right wing. England's talent was never the problem. Can Tuchel finally forge it into gold? No pressure, Thomas. Just 60 years of hurt. Brazil carries the heaviest emotional baggage. 5 stars. No World Cup since 2002. It's a generational wound. And Vinicius, on the left? Genuinely unplayable when he's feeling it. Matheus Cunha provides relentless movement and grit. Young Endrick carries a terrifying big-game instinct. The attack looks terrifying on paper, but Brazil's firepower was never the problem. The real question is whether everything connects. Vinicius can ruin a fullback in 10 minutes flat, but Brazil desperately needs tactical structure around their chaos, not just pure vibes. Now, the teams nobody wants to face. Japan isn't some cute underdog story anymore. They're a legitimate lethal threat. They stunned Germany and Spain at the 2022 World Cup, winning the group using a second-half comeback style that totally defines their football identity today. They absorb heavy pressure without breaking, then strike the second a match cracks open. Kubo creates, Matoma destroys one-on-one, Endo anchors the midfield while Kamada times brilliant runs. This squad boasts European-level structure and zero fear of elite badges. Meanwhile, Morocco killed the surprise label after their historic 2022 run. That defensive block holds firm. The transitions are lethal. Hakimi isn't just defending, he's an outright attacking weapon. Brahim Diaz creates in the final third. Bono stays icy in goal. Morocco finally knows exactly who they are. That deep self-belief is highly dangerous. Now, Norway. Haaland alone at a World Cup causes panic. 16 goals in qualifiers. Norway swept all 8 qualifiers, dropping Italy 4-1 away. But they are truly dangerous because of the machine backing him up. Odegaard slipping through balls, Nusa torching defenders. Zorloff brings a massive physical threat inside the box. This isn't just pass it to Erling, it's a real team. Ecuador, meanwhile, terrifies you differently. They quietly gave up just 5 goals during their entire CONMEBOL qualifying run. 5 goals in South American qualifying. Think about that altitude, hostile crowds, brutal pitches. Caicedo drives it all, winning duels, wrecking rhythm, eating up space. Hincapie stays calm and athletic at the back. Ecuador will not blow you away, they just make you totally miserable until you slip up. Then we have the debut teams, Uzbekistan, Jordan, and Haiti. Nations pushing through absolute chaos and hardship to somehow find a way. Then there is Curacao, the smallest nation ever reaching a World Cup, landing in Group E with Germany, Ecuador, and Ivory Coast. Plus 78-year-old Dick Advocate leaving retirement just to manage them. You truly cannot write this script, you just have to witness it. And finally, the legends. Ronaldo hunting the only trophy football still owes him. Messi already finished his story in Qatar. Yet here he is, maybe adding one final chapter. Son Heung-min carrying South Korea's golden era on his back in Group A against Mexico, South Africa, and Czechia. Plus Edin Dzeko, 40 years old, leading Bosnia to the World Cup stage over a full decade after their lone appearance back in 2014. People ignore that last one. This is not just longevity. This is a guy flat out refusing to let the curtain fall. The heavyweights are stacked. Dark horses look deadly. Underdogs have nothing to lose, and these icons are out of time. This tournament might be the moment the sport finally changes hands. For 20 years, every big tournament revolved around the exact same guys. Messi, Ronaldo, Neymar, Modric, Kroos, Benzema. That generation did not just dominate. They made soccer feel impossible to follow. But 2026 is different. The old guard still remains. They are just not the main story anymore. Lamine Yamal is the face of this new era, not a promising kid. Spain's actual match winner. He holds the width, goes at the fullback, chops onto his left foot, and panics defenders before even touching the ball. Spain with Yamal are not just technical, they are explosive. That hamstring scare pre-tournament is way bigger than a standard fitness update. De La Fuente stays optimistic. He better be right. Haaland finally gets his World Cup. 16 goals across 8 qualifiers, blasting 2 in a 4-1 win over Italy. Norway's first ticket since 1998. The plan is simple. Stay compact. Let Odegaard find those pockets of space. Feed Haaland one clean cross. That alone will terrify anybody. Jude Bellingham carries the emotional weight of England. 4 assists, 55 passes a game, and 1.9 key passes per match in La Liga. He evolved way past the highlight reel. He plays like the whole pitch belongs to him. That is a gift and a heavy burden. No pressure, Jude. Just 60 years of heartbreak riding right on your back. Vinicius is absolute chaos. Pure, beautiful, terrifying chaos. 15 goals and 5 assists in La Liga. 21 goals and 10 assists total. Opposing fullbacks just freeze. Midfielders retreat early. Entire backlines literally bend toward his side. Brazil's problem is never whether he can win a game. It is whether they can build the right structure around him. Wirtz is not a winger. He solves problems, taking the ball between lines, spinning under heavy pressure, picking passes nobody else sees. Liverpool dropped £116 million after his 16-goal, 15-assist Leverkusen campaign. His Premier League stats might look quiet, but 2.3 key passes a game tells the true story. Germany needs him to unlock tight defensive setups. This could be his summer. Gula gives Turkey pure elegance. 4 goals and 9 assists across 2,000 La Liga minutes for a kid still fighting to start at Real Madrid. An April hamstring tear clouds his summer. If healthy, Turkey has a playmaker slicing passes that just should not exist. If absent, they lose their greatest spark of creativity. Yildiz offers the backup plan. 10 goals and 6 assists at Juventus. Gliding inside, running through heavy traffic, rushing the box. Together, they make Turkey truly dangerous. Elsewhere, Du only needs 20 minutes off the French bench against tired legs. 7 goals, 3 assists in 1,200 minutes for PSG. Nico Paz answers Argentina's post-Messi dilemma with 12 goals and 6 assists over at Como. Meanwhile, Rich at Lyon adds that pure penalty box instinct Brazil needs during tight knockouts. Brahim Diaz, with 13 goals in 24 Morocco caps, is now the absolute heartbeat of their entire attacking setup. But FIFA is not just changing the roster, they are changing the sport itself. Time wasting is finally being hunted down. A strict 5-second countdown on throw-ins and goal kicks. Stalling too long means you lose the ball, or worse, concede a corner. The slow substitution walk, the drawn-out handshake tour, the lazy exit. It is genuinely dangerous now. Dragging out a substitution can briefly leave your squad short-handed. Any player faking an injury for treatment must sit out for at least 1 full minute once play resumes. So that dramatic dive over by the corner flag? It might cost you a crucial body in 35-degree heat. Only captains talk to the refs now. One voice, while everyone else backs off. Plus, VAR officially reviews obvious bad second yellows and mistaken identity. Semi-automated offside technology tracks 29 data points per player, 50 times every single second. The connected ball pinpoints the exact microsecond of contact. A striker's shoulder, a defender's knee, frozen in one frame. Squads that adapt, play fast, stay completely disciplined, and manage their tempers will weaponize these new rules. Teams that fail will bleed possession, rack up cheap yellow cards, and lose their heads when it hurts the most. The latest generation hits the pitch with pace, flair, and zero fear. But modern football counters with sensors, timers, and absolute zero patience. This upcoming tournament is massive, sharper, and far harder to tame than previous ones. Naturally, the largest World Cup breeds the biggest headaches. 3 countries, 16 cities, 104 matches across 4,300 kilometers. Teams aren't just commuting, they cross climates, time zones, and borders, heat, altitude, and brutal jet lag. Scientists called it out early. The massive carbon footprint from endless flights completely shatters FIFA's own climate pledges. Seats range from $60 to $6,730 for the final. The World Cup should feel global, but it just feels exclusive. Worst of all, tickets don't even guarantee entry. The US State Department warned that a FIFA pass means absolutely nothing at customs. Die-hard fans could hold valid tickets and still get turned away. Massive tournament, massive headaches. Yet billions will still drop absolutely everything to watch. Honestly, nobody knows what modern football looks like when the dust settles. The old legends are fading out. The new prodigies have arrived. This isn't just another World Cup. This is the beautiful game crashing into a new era.